This is the Genright Tracer suspension system. I'm going to show you how I installed it in a residential garage without a lift. Here is a sneak peek of the rolling chassis. We have 2.5 inch King coilovers, LS3 6.2 liter 4L80 transmission, Atlas transfer case. But before we go too far into that, we'll start off with a before video and some photos of the teardown. We started the project with a 2005 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited LJ with 195,000 miles on it. This thing was completely clapped out. Any bump over 35 miles an hour would send it into complete death wobble. While this is not a clean Jeep, it has not been involved in an accident and the frame is not bent. Some minor surface rust, but appears to have good structure overall. My wife was not too thrilled when I came home with this and had sold my clean JK. In fact, the first day that I brought it home, she had called it a clunker, and that's where the Jeep had got its name, the clunker.
What's your first reaction to the new Jeep?
Well, I already said my first reaction, but I'll say it again and again and again and again. This is I would $5,500 for this? Are you kidding?
$5,600.
The teardown was straightforward. These original Torx bolts from Jeep were probably the most difficult part. They have this blue Loctite on them that made it extremely difficult to remove. I bent or broke multiple Torx bits, used several different tools and a torch to get these removed. The Genright instructions are very clear about what brackets to remove, which is pretty much everything with the exception of the body mounts. I found it best to score the factory welds with a cutoff wheel, then bend the brackets back and forth until they break off. Once they break off, you can grind the remaining factory welds down to the frame. Take your time, you do not want to weaken the frame by grinding too far. The instructions are very specific and the geometry is very precise. I am not a mechanic or a fabricator by trade, so I chose the Genright suspension system because all of the geometry is figured out for you. This is also the most proven system on the market. While the directions are precise, I still found it best to tack everything into place and cycle it to make sure. Here we have the rear shock towers, bump stop mounts, and cross member. Link mounts, skid plate mounts, transmission cross member mounts, engine mounts, front shock tower, front bump stop, This is all being done in a 2-car residential garage while the Jeep tub sits out on the driveway. Poor Jeep tub. This is a perfect example of why it's important to tack everything into place and then cycle. As you can see, the track bar mount is too close to the bump stop mount, causing the track bar to hit the bump stop mount. At this stage, it's very simple to break the tack welds off and readjust the mount. You can also clearly see how the drag link fits perfectly in the frame cutout. Genright has done an incredible job optimizing up travel with these very tight clearances. I also highly recommend using a foam mock-up block. The Genright engineering has the engine block mounted towards the passenger side to allow for more up travel of the third link and pumpkin. I'm glad I used the foam block because the templates provided for the engine mount location was off by a significant margin. No Jeep frame is the same. Here, everything is pretty much final welded. And off to powder coat.